What is going on, everybody? Welcome back into Byerly Studios. Now, today in the studio, we're going to be doing a studio upgrade and update. Now, the focus of this video is more so lighting and video composition of the background as well as the forward-facing lights in my camera view. Now, along my video creation YouTube journey, I have tried to improve the overall video content as I go through my journey. But I really did start off with the very bare minimum, and some of those original videos are extremely rough around the edges. Not only just is the clarity bad, the videography, as well as I was never really on screen very much. As I started to upload more and more content to YouTube, as I reached new milestones, like say 500 pieces of content, 1,000 subscribers, eventually 1,000 pieces of content, I want to continuously upgrade my video quality as I go, just so that I can always be improving upon what I've already been making. I can also look back and see my progression through the YouTube journey, as well as you can go back and see where my channel has taken turns along the way, increasing the overall products that I put out as far as art. Not just that, also the videography will improve as well. You can also see where I introduce new products and different types of equipment inside the studio. Now, if you look at my last few videos, you can see that the overall video quality is not absolutely horrible, but you can see also that I'm in a dark shadow. Like, me is darker than the background. The background was lit up and it's very bright and vibrant. You can really see things in the background. But what happens is I get casted in a lot of shadow, and I have to do a lot of video editing and the color saturation and stuff, and the brightness to get it to look properly. And I don't want that to be the case anymore. If I do any kind of video editing, I want it to just be slight improvements instead of me really having to tinker with it to make me brighter in the screen. I need to be the bright person, and then the background needs to be nice and subtle and discreet. Anybody who understands content creation knows what I'm talking about. If you're looking for the same overall setup, then maybe you can follow along with this and just see where I go with it. But for instance, we're not going to do all of the lighting coverage today. We're going to do some small improvements, and then we'll go ahead and see where it takes us moving forward. Now, today's video is not about key lighting in front of me. However, we are going to kind of rearrange some things in the studio. I plan to make a video specifically about key lighting in the future when I order some, and we'll probably do a review or a product unboxing at the time. So when I started putting myself on camera more often, and I do try to challenge myself to be on camera as much as possible, and what that means is at the very beginning of videos, I try to be on the camera. Remember that as an artist, not just a content creator, but as an artist that creates art in the studio, that's my niche. I want to make sure that I'm able to be my own brand. And that means I need to put my face on the screen more often than as if I were to just make it like just as a hands-only type of video. I want you to understand that this is my art. I create this, and I am the brand creating the art. Okay, so I'm my own brand. That's the point. And the goal after 500 pieces of content was that I wanted to put myself on camera more often. I also believe that putting yourself on camera at the beginning, at the end of the videos, at least there's those two locations, just increases the overall product that you're putting out. It increases the overall wholeness of the video, if that makes any sense. You start off with the beginning, you get to the meat of the art, and then you get to a conclusion at the very end, and it makes you feel like you have a well put together sandwich, as it were. Now, what really started this is not too long ago, I was sitting at a kitchen table with my sister, and she looked at me. She knows I make content, and she had reviewed one of my videos. She told me, "John, I'm just going to be real with you. The background of your video just feels chaotic. It just feels messy." And I completely agree with her. Now, as you can see in the background, I've done a little bit of work to overall change the kind of look of the background a little bit. It's more just so that I could enjoy the space of being in here. So we'll get to some of that in just a moment. But I did move some of the shelving pieces around. Now, these are all handmade shelves from me, and I can adjust the shelf levels as I need to. So I can have tumblers across this bottom side. I can have some paint jars. I can have glitter. I don't use very much glitter in the studio right now as it is, but when I do use it, I need it, right? So if somebody orders a glamorous piece of art, then I need some glitter, and that's my glitter stop. Normally, it was over here on this side, and that shelf was actually a little bit lower. The paint bottles were on this side. I decided to switch it up a little bit, as well as overall change the height of some of those shelves. So here is some B-clip of me just quickly time-lapsing, unscrewing. Actually, one of the screws was stripped. I had to work to get that loose, and I raised up that shelf and then put everything back into position. I also made sure that I didn't create too many definite levels in the dimension of the glitter, right? So it's easier for the eye and more appealing to have it all one smooth layer in the background. So what I plan to do is down here I'm going to have just different designs of tumblers that I've created in a single line. I have some that haven't been finished up yet, but they're going to be a single line over here. And then I'm going to do the same thing over here at some point, maybe. The reason I say that is because here in the near future, I'm going to take these shelving units and I'm going to continue them up the wall to a certain extent. So those shelving units and a lot of things on these shelves are actually going to go up the wall, and I'll have more open space. Open space between the items will make it feel more open and like airy, and it will make it feel a little bit more professional. Right now it's very like confined and everything's tight knit together, and it just makes it feel very, very cluttered. It's not necessarily cluttered in any way, it's just everything's confined. Now when I moved the glitter to that side, I actually rose that shelf up as well, and I put my faux art up there, but I lowered the clearance of that, so those are pretty tightly fit up there, and that means that it just looks more filled out. And then because I raised that shelf up right here, it kind of gave me more room here. I can fit 30-ounce tumblers here now if I ever want to move some of these like just Funko Pops and fun things that I've collected up to the top area where they're out of reach and they're kind of sometimes off camera. I can open this up for designs of 3D tumblers and sculptures and things like that. So fun things on that. I'll probably leave this line right here pretty much the same so I can just like switch things out, because that's a lot of times what is in the background of some of my art videos. So that's the overall composition of the shelving units. I want to be able to move them up and down depending on what I have on them, but what I want most of all is I want consistency in overall products across the sides. And as I move some of those pieces of collectible items and artworks up top, when I increase the height of the shelving units, then I will be able to kind of open things up a little bit and create some more spaces in items. Spaces in items, again, will make it feel more airy and light and opened up. Okay, so if we have opened up area in the background, let's talk about the lighting that we have in the room currently. The first light that you're going to notice is the light behind you. Now that is actually a window, and you can see that reflection in the glasses that I'm wearing. Now sometimes I'll specifically take off my glasses so that you do not see that reflection. Now at nighttime, when I'm recording in the studio, which I hope to record most of my intros at night eventually anyways, because that way you can get more better light control. I don't always have that scenario right now. So I have that light opened up, and even if I close the blinds, you still see some of those light rays coming through, and they hit my glasses and create reflections. Okay, so if we take my glasses off and we get rid of those, then there we are. You don't want to see those reflections, right? You can still see some of the light coming in. It's ambient. It reflects off things inside the studio. It doesn't create a nice encapsulated view, right? So what are some other lights that we have in here? We also have a light above us, which is creating a downward cast. Well, if I wear my hats, which I wear hats all the time, and I like wearing hats, not that my hair is receding or anything, but I do wear hats in the studio as well as just wherever. So light coming down from above is creating shadow on my face. And that's not necessarily the best thing, right? So, of course, we would introduce key lighting in the front. 2 key lights is what I'm going to go for, as well as a side view light. Now, I do have a cheapo side view light that I'll probably use for the meantime because I want to introduce a new one of those later on down the road. And we'll get to that. But for today, what I'm going to use for the side view light is probably just a simple halo light that I had purchased. It's like a little clamp light. It's very cheap, and it's gonna do okay for like a side light. I'll probably put it very far off to the side, and it'll create some light on the side of my face. The 2 keystone lights that I'm gonna order later on down the road will be a separate video, but we'll come back to that later. Okay, so we're focusing on the background today. All right. I hope you're enjoying the video so far. If you are, like and subscribe. Now we also have my halo light. Sometimes when I'm recording a front-facing video before I get into the art, I'll have the halo light on to cascade light down onto an item. That's a dimmable light. And sometimes you can see the reflection of that in the lens of the camera, and then you can see that kind of interfering with the video quality. It's not always, but sometimes in previous videos you can see that halo light, the power of it, interfering with the lens. Okay, so what if we wanted to eliminate that? Okay, well, for aesthetically pleasing, the next light that I have in here is actually Christmas lighting. I originally did twinkle lights just for fun, around my painting station here, and then I just kind of didn't like it too much. Maybe when I do more lives and things like that on the painting station here, then I'll probably introduce those again. But they are battery pack powered, so I'll probably get some electrical socket ones, some that can plug into like a power strip. But right now we have those. So Alexa, studio on. Alexa, studio on. There you go. It took me twice to get it turned on.
By the way, you can save energy by timing your smart lights to turn on or off when you want. Just ask me to turn off the lights.
Alexa, stop. Anyways, so those are my lights right there. Now I have like one pack of those, and I just kind of like just stapled them across the shelving units, and it just gives me just a fun background lighting. If I were to turn that off at night, and it just gives me a nice fun ambient light. But it's not necessarily really like nice, you know, because I got it kind of stapled into position. It creates a lot of messiness on the shelving units. So what if we wanted to eliminate that at some point, or maybe like just accent it, right? So let's introduce something a little bit different. Now today, the main focus again is cleaning up the background, making it easier to view, and then consolidating the light down into me as the focal point, as well as just some soft lighting in the background. So what we have today is we're going to be doing an unboxing and a setup, and hopefully an improvement of the workspace, a ONN multicolored LED light strip, and it's a 25 footer. I bought this from Walmart. Now they have these in different sizes, 10 foot, 25, and I believe 50 foot. I bought the 25 feet just so if I wanted to extend it out even further and go like up and around the tops and the bottoms, I could. But what we're going to do is we're mainly going to focus on bringing some accent color to the back of the countertop here. And then I may take it up and around some of the top area up there. Now, the reason I don't really want to take it across the very middle section is I think that I'm eventually going to cut the shelving unit so that I can put possibly a TV there or a small micro TV screen. And then that way I can keep an eye on the chat when I do like YouTube lives and things like that. Because I do want to challenge myself to do more YouTube lives in the near future. So let's go ahead and get this bright on multicolored LED light strip unboxed. Let's look at what's in the box. Let's do a little review. And then we'll go ahead and get it into position on the back of the unit. And see if we can clean up the view of it a little bit. Alright, so let's go ahead and get this bad boy unboxed here. Again, it is a 25-foot bright on multicolored LED light strip, and it's with the remote control. Very important, and it's a 25 foot again, so very important there, 25 foot. All right, so on the back of it, we have a multicolored LED light strip with remote control. Very important so we can adjust the lighting and stuff and really get control over it. We have 225 LED lights with 15 preset RGB colors. So there's the color combinations and things like that, flash, strobe. It says fade and smooth on and off, and of course you can dim the lights a little bit and increase the brightness as well. 24 button remote control offers customized lighting options. Cut to length, peel and stick to most smooth surfaces. I guess if we cut it and you wanted to extend it out, I could always solder it back into position, and you can just increase and just keep going with it. We do have a soldering station, so I can always do that. Break the darkness. Lighten the mood with our multicolored LED light strip programmed by you to suit your fancy. Yeah, we're fancy, all right, right? With customizable multicolored LED lights stretched over 25 feet, we're sure to brighten your life. You can control the light, brightness and fading effects, or even trim the strip to be a shorter length. It's all up to you. Our multicolored LED light strip offers a perfect way to decorate an accent with lighting. Isn't that enlightening? Bright on. Very clever, right? All right, so there's that little kit right there, and we're going to open this bad boy up here. Okay, comes in a static-free bag, and it keeps it from getting shorted out. If it were to be handled or something like that, it keeps it from getting damaged by like any kind of electrical pulses or anything like that in trucks and stuff like that. It's also got some breathing holes and stuff too. All right, so there's the bag. We'll toss that. Okay, so it has a remote control. We'll go and get that out now. Gets my trash out of the way there. It comes with a well, it's a power adapter, so that's good. A lot of kits don't come with that anymore, so that's nice. All right, so on comes with piece of plastic paper, waxy paper, and it's just instructions. Determine where you can install your light switch, LEDs, bend radius, slightly rounded bends. Don't do any hard bends because it can kind of cut the circuitry. If you desire, you can cut the light strip to shorter length by cutting on the specific cut lines. Never cut products while it is plugged into a power source. Well, of course it does, because it'll short your stuff out. Well, there you go. Don't cut it while it's on the power. Why is it not working? You shorted the whole thing out. Farthest away from the counter pins and power source. Cool. All right. Do not pull the strip or power supply hard during installation. Be cautious of static electricity during installation and usage. Avoid pressing on or bending LED chips and other strip components. Installing the light strip. Of course, bend, and that's probably it doesn't say what percentage. I'd say at least a quarter size, maybe quarter size bends. Be cautious of static electricity. Again, that's why you have the foil bag. Keep this product away from sharp objects to avoid short-circuiting damage and avoid nails and metal and conductive items. Do not light up the light switch when it is rolled up, fully unspooled, because if it has metal tongues touching each other or something, then it can short out, so you don't want to do that, okay? Adhesive, this product is attached with double-sided tape. Strong bond to surfaces. If the product is removed after installation, there's a possibility that it could damage the surface. It'll rip off your paint. Don't do that. That's why we're not going to attach it with anything hardcore like what it comes with. All right, so here it is on a roll. Very fancy indeed. And we're going to go ahead and undo this. And then there's our roll. Now, the good thing about this is I can go ahead and just hold it by the roll and then just roll it behind the shelving units. So I guess we're going to go ahead and do that, guys. I don't really know for sure if the way it's rolled out is the way I'm going to keep it that way. So let me go ahead and show you why I'm kind of hesitant to really run this all the way up the entire shelving unit. What I can do is later, what I'll do is because I want to run it from my plug. So I have an Amazon plug that I can plug stuff into. So I can say, Alexa, turn off studio. And it turns off my ambient lighting. So, but I can always get another one of those and I can have this ambient lighting onto another one, but I can also use the light switch, right? So I still need that to apply power to the stuff. So what I can do is say, Alexa, studio on. Alexa, studio on. Alexa, studio on. And what I can do is I can go ahead and attach this and then just use the remote control to control it on and off. So we'll leave the remote control right there for now. So what I need to do is I need to go ahead and pull all of this stuff away from the back of this. Because I have this center post right here in the very middle, it kind of creates a break between the two units because I always wanted them to be removable and I can rearrange them, I can extend them, I can move them wherever I need to. And I really do believe that I want to go ahead and incorporate a wooden piece. There's a wooden piece of the desk that I had to cut off to fit it in between these two sections of wall in this side bedroom that we have. And I have this extra piece. I don't want to get rid of it. It's really nice. It's the end of the desk and it matches. I think I'm going to put this right here, but I can't do that with a post. So what I'm going to do is I think I'm actually going to separate this out here, possibly, and get rid of this pillar. And what I'm going to do is I'm potentially going to create a box right here for a TV or a monitor screen to be right here so that I can do my sculpting and crafting here. And then I can look up and here's all of the chat for my live events. That'd be cool, right? I've seen a lot of people that have the screens in front of them. It doesn't really matter if it kind of breaks the immersion of the art or whatever. It's more so just interacting with people that come into the live. Even if it's just one person, it's still fun to do that. So I need to break this middle piece. So in a separate video, what I might do is I might go ahead and build supports to go here, here, and all the way up. And then what I might do is I might shorten all of these pieces of wood, possibly just two of them, maybe three, this one here, and then break it right here. And then I'll create a box of the same wood to go into here. And then that will allow this to slide into there. And I can put like small like jars of like sculpting equipment and tools and things like that right here below that monitor. It'll be just kind of like aesthetically pleasing. So this piece right here always has to be here. But if I do that, I can't really just run. You say, well, why do you mention that, John? Why do you mention that? If I run the LED light strip along the bottom, and then I want to double up and come along this back piece here, along the back of that one, to give the bottom portion of this workstation extra lighting glow, to see behind me in the video content, I may not keep this here, which means that LED light strip would have to be rerouted. Why do I want to create extra work on myself? So what I could do is I could take it across the back and then go up, and then I could go across this top piece right here. That would still be in the lighting. I could bring it up and then go across right here, and I could put like a small lip right there so where you don't see the strip. I'm afraid if I put it to where the strip is visible, like the LEDs are visible facing forward, then they're going to be too bright. I believe because I put them on the back side, it'll create a softer glow against the background of the wall, highlighting anything that's behind it. Alright, so because this unit is not very expensive, what I've decided to do is if I ever need to cut or resolder or get a new one, then I can. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on taking it down, bringing it across the back of the main station, desk station. I'm going to make sure to hit the corners as well. Then I'm going to bring it up probably the sides or the back, and then I'm going to come across this side right here. The reason for which I say that is because normally this shelf and above is not visible in the camera view. Normally, if I want myself to be sized properly in the video content, this is not visible. That's why this has never really been painted and I've never completed it, because I plan to continue the shelving all the way up, so I never finished it. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and remove everything away from the back of the desk, and I'm going to start at the very top and work my way down. What I have is I have a power strip on that side, so I'll probably use that power strip to supply power to this, so I can start on that side and work my way across. Sound good? I'm also going to only attach this with Scotch tape, nothing else. Alright, so as you can see, we're going to run this behind the shelving unit here, and I'm going to be straightforward with you guys. I've said multiple times in the video that I was going to use like a Scotch tape or something to attach these lights to the back of the shelving unit, just to give that nice, beautiful, soft glow behind the shelves, and along with my knickknacks, right? It was such a pain in the butt just to get the lighting behind the shelves. You have to remove everything from the shelf, and you have to like make sure that the wire is really flat against the back of the shelf. I ended up using the double-sided sticky tape. I just couldn't stand it. I just went ahead and used it, and I guess when I move the shelves and detach it from the desk below, I'll just have to probably redo the lights later if I ever do move my workstation around. So, some give and take. I went ahead and spent less time attaching the lights to the back of the shelving units, but I'll have to probably redo it later. So, oh well. So as you can see, I'm starting at the very top at my Amazon plug here, and I'm going to go ahead and go across the back and then come down the entire left-hand side to the second shelf down. We're going to go all the way across, and then we're going to go all the way down to the desk. We'll come across the back of the desk, and then we're going to go back up the other side. So we're really kind of avoiding that entire middle zone, but this is still enough lighting that it's really going to give an awesome ambient kind of a feel to the background. I do go ahead and take it off of the roll at this point, just because I couldn't get that roll behind that back corner. That back corner, having that back piece of wood, is a little bit more difficult to get the wiring through there. It does take a little bit of patience, but once you get it kind of attached to the background behind the shelf, it's okay. The corners also have to have like a nice smooth arc to the corners. You can't go at a very hard angle because you'll bend the wiring on the LED strip. So just remember that you kind of got to curve those just a little bit, a nice smooth corner, and then you can continue down with the double-sided sticky tape. Later on down the road, I did have a piece of the segment of double-sided sticky tape to release itself from the back of the shelving unit. I have to make sure I press that back into position. It still had a little bit of stickiness left to it, so we'll have to keep an eye on that, make sure that double-sided sticky tape doesn't just continuously come loose off of the back of the shelf. Going all the way across here. My hopes is that when I have these lights on the back of the shelves and the desk here, I hope that it also forces me just to really keep the area really nice and clean. That way, because I want the lights to be visible through and around some of the open air items on my shelf. So that way the lights that I install are actually visible and not just covered up by stuff. But I want to make sure I can kind of keep the area clean. Coming up this back side over here, and then what we'll do is we'll grab the remote control and we'll get to looking at how the lights look under different circumstances here. The LEDs for the ONN lights do have a lot of settings on the remote control, and we'll just kind of flash through those. I'm going to go ahead and put this Ditto diorama back on the shelf here, and of course I can also make the lighting match those LEDs that are in that item. So here we are, we're going to just scroll through some of the lights. We have red, and it goes down to like an orange and a yellow. Down into, this is an orange here. There goes into greens, like a turquoise, light blue. Then it goes into some harder, darker blues as we scroll down through the blue layers. Going into what would be purple or violet. And then it goes into a lighter purple before it goes into the pinks. That purple is really cool right there, and you're actually going to see that in a moment in a video clip. Alright, so let's go ahead and get some comparisons here. So this is the original background that I had with the Christmas lights, and here is the more polished ambient light background with the LEDs. As you can see, I'm wearing a Panther hat, and it does match the overall general background color. Back to the original here, my yellow hat, my green shirt, a little bit of chaos in the background. Back to the upgraded, still stuff on the background, but that's completely normal. There it is. I am a lot further in the background because of the shadow that my hat is casting. There's no shadow here caused by my hat. Now I do have some key lighting here shining on me, so it does brighten my overall silhouette quite a bit. And because of that, it sends the background in further back because of how dark it is, but it gives nice accent lighting. This is just a very warm background here. I like the darkness and the coolness of the LED lights. Here is a clip of me showcasing a painting here, and look how clean the background is. Let me go ahead and restart that image again. Here we go. So there's nothing on the desk in the background except for stuff set up against the walls where the lights are at. I do have the light set to a purple ambient light to match the overall Wednesday theme, and that's where that painting is from. Very cool, right? And just like that, guys, the ambient lighting in the background has been upgraded. Now, of course, I'm going to probably come in and add some more accent lighting later. Maybe I'll do that in another video or maybe a short clip, just because this is the full-length content of me upgrading the lighting. But it does look a lot better than us having the Christmas lights, which is that warm, kind of powerful lighting in the background. It's more subtle now. You don't really see the bulbs anymore, and it's kind of more like a halo type effect. Now, I'm also going to get new key lights to go in my studio as well, just to make the videography a little bit better. Right now, as you can see, the halo light on my workstation is missing. I just transferred that over here behind the camera view so that you get a little bit of light on me. I also have the remote control here in my hand for the LEDs here. But before I get to changing the lighting, just to kind of give you an idea of what it looks like upgraded now, let's go ahead and turn off that halo light, and let's just show you what it would look like without the key lighting behind the camera. Alright guys, so this is the lighting in the room without the halo light or key lighting behind you. As you can see, the videography got extremely dark. And although you could probably put the ceiling light on and it would be okay to get by with, we just really want to upgrade the look of the videography. So we will be getting some more lights in the future. So let me go ahead and cut that back on. Now I will say that the lighting in the background becomes more noticeable because there's no light coming from the camera view. And then there we are. We have the halo light behind you back on. So we'll go back into key lighting later on down the road as I order some new ones, and we'll do a little unboxing and a review on that at the time. So that'll be a fun separate video. Now, as you can see, the lighting in the background does look really good, and of course with the remote control you can put strobes on, you can do a fast strobe, you can do a smooth transition effect, so you'll actually strobe through the lights there. You can do a smooth transition. I really think that the smooth transition, the strobes, and all that stuff is just really distracting. If I'm doing something like art videography here on the workstation, I could probably do a smooth transition between the lights as people are watching the live video. But for the most part, I don't think that's really adequate for what we're doing here with the forward-facing camera. But we can go ahead and change it to say orange or blue or like a bright green. So you'll see different theme colors depending on the art that I'm introducing for any specific content video, which is just kind of cool. Honestly, when I'm in the studio a lot of the times, I just set it completely just to white and I just leave it like that. And it's just nice neutral color. It is a cool white light. And I think it's really cool, but I do change it depending on the art that I'm creating for the specific art video. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I know it's kind of long-winded, but I really wanted to make this in a vlog style video, which also just kind of opened me up just to have fun with the videography, putting the clips together, some B-roll, and just really have fun with the process of upgrading those lights. I really do think it looks a lot better, and I'm happy with the upgrade that we were able to achieve here. I will probably make the video for the key lighting in the near future, as well as I'll probably introduce another accent light in the background, which will cast me in a halo-like effect. But we'll get to that in a later video. If this is way later on down the road, of course you can find it here in these videos that are posting now. Make sure you like and subscribe, guys, and I'll catch you on the next awesome art video. Later.